live.
Hello everyone. Today I'm here with my friend, Mr. Gary Prewitt. Thank you so much for being here today.
Welcome.
Thanks. So tell us a little bit about your history. I know you grew up in Lake of the Ozarks, but how did you get into development here?
Well, I went to college for an aviation tech degree, started flying airplanes, and we were flying over Lake of the Ozarks about 3 times a day, and I was always watching the traffic on the main thoroughfares, Highway 42 and 54 mainly. And so the pilot pool kind of dried up a little bit. We didn't get paid very well. So I got out of being a pilot and came back and started developing the Ozarks.
Oh,
So
very
that's
nice.
how I got into development.
Very nice. And so your big box stores. Tell us a little bit about how you got started with that and really how you saw the vision that so many maybe didn't see coming.
Well, I felt like the lake was way underutilized. The West Coast and the East Coast, people, Texas, they didn't know where we were at. I knew someday they would figure that out, and so I started working with big boxes, Home Depot and Lowe's, and I ended up finally landing in Lowe's. But we had to have a TIF infrastructure program put together to move Highway D and not reroute, but to improve Highway 42 and 54. So that'd been in my head for about 5 years before we actually pulled the trigger and moved forward on tying up the rest of the land and submitting for the TIF contract and binding a contract with Lowe's and Walgreens. So that's how I got into the big box, and then that morphed into Target, Hy-Vee, Marshalls, larger, junior anchors and other big boxes. So it's actually, it took a while, 2 to 3 years to get everybody under contract, but after we have them under contract, the city worked with us well, and we moved forward.
Nice. And being a local here at Lake of the Ozarks, I mean, you remember when this land wasn't developed at all. So I know you fly planes a lot, did you ever, imagine you were looking down at the lake and start to see what it could be one day?
Yeah, I was based out of St. Louis, so about every 5 miles there were big box centers, and I was wondering why we didn't have big box development at the lake. And really the main reason why we didn't is because the topography of the land, it makes it really tough to build a 150,000 square foot store. So it takes a lot of money to flatten a piece of ground in Lake of the Ozarks. Therefore, i.e. the TIF, we had to have TIF to bring big boxes in. The only big box was here was Walmart at the time I started. So just brought more variety and more people wanting to move to the lake. Once you have a Target, Hy-Vee, groceries, things of that nature.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit more about the TIF program, because with these big infrastructure box stores you put in, you've been successful with that. So tell us a little bit how you came about getting these TIF programs and maybe some advice for other developers looking to do the same.
Yes, and I recommend developers exploring the TIF program, especially in Lake of the Ozarks with a large piece of ground. It's put in place in the state of Missouri for downtown dilapidated areas, to revitalize downtown areas, also to bring infrastructure to smaller towns and medium-sized towns. So when you come to Lake of the Ozarks with the hills and valleys, and i.e. mountains, if you will, it takes a lot of money to flatten that ground and to reroute highways, put in sewers and waters. So a large development, it won't work financially without TIF. That's for big box and junior anchor stores. And there's other programs like CIDs and TDDs, public assistance programs. But the one thing I want everybody to know, the TIF programs, you have to spend the money to collect the money, and you have to generate the sales tax and property tax once you build your stores. If you're unsuccessful with that, then you don't get paid back and you lose money. Most of the TIFs are not backed by the cities. They're not guaranteed by the cities or the counties. Pruitt's Point wasn't, Eagles Landing wasn't. I'm doing a project in Joplin. It will not be backed by the city of Joplin. So you have to make sure your program's going to work, because that's the only way you get paid back. But it's got to work for the city, the county, and the developer. It's got to work both ways, or it's not worth moving into.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say, it's got to be a win-win.
Yes, it's got to be a win-win for both sides. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so with your vision, your creativity, we'd all love to hear your opinion being a local. Where do you think Lake of the Ozarks is going to be in the next 5 years?
I think the next 5 to 10 years, possibly in 5, we're going to see another bubble. I think there's other populations that are getting tired of the taxes and different things going on with the governments. In California, not so much Texas, West Coast, a little bit of the East Coast. And I think this area is ripe for growth because it is an easy transition as far as costs and taxes, property taxes, what I'm talking about, and sales tax. So I think we're going to see another influx of growth within the next 10 years, 5 to 10, I'd say.
Wonderful.
So,
Nice. And are there any current projects that you're working on right now that you would like to talk about?
I'm just kind of cleaning up some and moving forward on the projects I've started. One being Backwater Jacks. We've got about 75 acres accumulated around the Backwater Jacks area. We're doing some nice stuff out on HH also. And then we're focusing on phase 4, if you will, of Eagles Landing, which is on the other side of the highway where the quarry is at. We're finishing up the quarry. Once the quarry gets finished up and the excess rock moved out, then we'll start focusing on leveling that. We do have some users, but they're not large enough to do all that right now. We're trying to line up about 3 to 5 users to be able to move forward. I would say we have another probably 1 year, 8 months quarry and rock to be ready to go. And then I'm always focusing on the Expo Center and the 80 acres. I think it's flat ground. It's in the heart of Osage Beach. And I feel like that we're missing something, and I haven't put my finger on it yet. But we're working with Osage Beach and always with Miller County. And then the restaurants we own and other properties are in Camden, so we're working with Camden County better now. And I would like to see, I'd like to relay I would like to see the cities and the counties work really well with future developers. They've done a really good job with me and our programs, but there'll be other developers come into play. And a little bit of a history with Joplin. It's been a little rough in Joplin, but we're moving forward in good faith, and it looks like that we'll bring a Menards to Joplin, but the cities and the counties really need to work with the developers if the lake wants to see growth. And once again, they've done a good job so far with me. I would like to see them do that with other developers also.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for all the success you brought to the lake.
You're welcome.
Thank
you.